Good evening or good afternoon, depending on where you're watching, and welcome to Garblag Games. I'm Aaron, and I'm going to be your narrator for our continuing Marvel Multiverse adventures. So, welcome to issue 2 of Operation Pendragon. If you joined us 2 weeks ago in issue 1, our group of covert British superheroes working for British Special Services in World War II in the Italian theater were called together for a mission. For the first time, all of Operation Pendragon, minus Professor Kronos, was gathered in one location. They were told that an individual claiming to be a time traveler had come back from the future and approached members of Battle Access and the Nazis, offering their services in exchange for sanctuary in the past. Union Jack was sent from the Allies to determine whether or not there was any veracity to this individual's story, and if there was, to attempt to either eliminate him or take him prisoner. Union Jack made his first contact with Allied forces as scheduled. However, he missed his next two contacts. At that point, Operation Pendragon was mustered and sent to the Isle of Rhodes, specifically tracking Union Jack back to the Grand Albergo del Rose Hotel, where they were doing some recon when Kingdom Quake went out to have a conversation and all hell broke loose. They were ambushed by members of Battle Access, specifically Spider Queen, Lotus, and members of the Hand. The team fought off these aggressors pretty quickly and pretty easily. They took Spider Queen captive, and she admitted that the Lotus had sent word to the rest of their Confederates upstairs to abandon the hotel, and that they had already most likely escaped and were headed to the port. They were going to take this time traveler, Trevor Fitzroy, by ship out to a U-boat and escape that way. Our party then was preparing to head out and try to head off the rest of the members of Battle Access, rescue Union Jack, and take custody of this time traveler. But before we get into that, let's move 2 weeks into the future, and we find ourselves once again in an army tent in Italy. Once again, we see a man in a dark suit and a British 8th Army general. And in walks another individual. Dan, why don't you tell us what Professor Kronos looks like and tell us a little bit about your powers?
Oh, thank you very much. So a little bit about Professor Kronos. Well, he is the Lord John Mulberry II, Marquis of Needham and Dolby, Earl of Croy, Baronet of Bricey, Lieutenant of His Majesty's Royal Navy, scientist, philanthropist, and of course hero Professor Kronos. He's the first son of his namesake. His father died heroically in the Battle of Jutland in World War One. Lord John followed in his family's naval tradition footsteps, but he struggled to find a place in the Royal Navy. The problem was he did not really like the boats that much. But the Navy finds use for everyone, and Lord John was assigned to research and development. While working on radar, Lord John began to detect strange anomalies. These anomalies he began to study, and he named them Kronos waves. His experiments, though crude, showed that these waves were formed as ripples in space-time when time travel was taking place. Of course, no one believed him. So Lord John created an experiment to try and measure and sample Kronos waves. The experiment was a disaster. And in the chaos and the explosions that ensued, Lord John was hit by a Kronos wave, which gifted him a strange power involving time travel. At the moment, he's wearing his World War II fatigues. He's in Mediterranean shorts, khaki shorts, and shirt, but he's a bit of an odd fellow, and he's also wearing a dinner jacket as well, and holding a pipe.
And the man in the suit looks up and he goes, Professor Kronos, I want to thank you for taking the time. We have an issue, a situation, I suppose you could say, that we think that your particular talents may be useful for. It's my understanding that you propose that you're capable of traveling through time. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Well, I know you haven't worked with all of them, but members of Operation Pendragon have gone missing. They were sent over 2 weeks ago to the Isle of Rhodes to look into another supposed time traveler. Union Jack came back. He's injured and in the infirmary, but he says that the team was successful in their mission, though he was beat up and groggy and didn't quite understand how. But he swears that they had or were grabbing this time traveler when he passed out. We think that your unique skills may be able to help Operation Pendragon, and we would like to know if we give you the precise coordinates in space and time, would you be able to shift back to that moment on the Isle of Rhodes and join the rest of Operation Pendragon in their efforts to take down this supposed time traveler named Trevor Fitzroy?
Well, thank goodness you called for me, General. Yes, of course I can.
Excellent. Well, and he hands you across an interesting piece of technology. It's not like anything you've ever seen. The boys in the home office, Q detachment, have been working on this. It will give you the exact space-time lock you need. If you focus on this, if you focus your powers through this, it should allow you to travel back in time and through time and space to the exact moment that Union Jack remembers leaving the hotel on the Isle of Rhodes.
Right. Thank you, General.
So, Dan, tell us a little bit about your time travel. How does the power work? Does it cost any focus?
His Professor Kronos's ability to time travel is what you would define as weird science. So the experiments that he caused, and well, I said the experiments he did, and then accidents that were then caused, affected his body in ways that are still unknown to him, which has left him with an innate ability to pass through time. He still hasn't quite got to grasp with it, but he basically seems to be able to summon himself into a different place and time as long as he has been near there or around there.
All right. I like it. So mechanically speaking, you spend your 5 focus points. So on your character sheet, you should be able to pull that up, and where it says focus, you should be able to reduce that by 5. And what we see is Professor Kronos focusing on this temporal distortion piece of equipment, and as his powers manifest, you actually feel a strengthening of this temporal wave, as you've called it, pulling you, and this time, instead of just pulling you through time, it's also pulling you through space. We find ourselves back in the hotel on the Isle of Rhodes. Seconds have passed since the battle with Spider Queen and Lotus. Spider Queen has just told everyone that the rest of the members of Battle Access that are here have escaped towards the port, with the Union Jack unconscious or semi-conscious and in tow, and this man named Trevor Fitzroy. What do you guys do? First, let's start with Lance. Dan, tell us about Lance, the Eldritch Knight, and what would his first actions be hearing this news that they are headed to the port?
Well, he had just detained and made the Spider Queen surrender to him. So he'd be questioning her and the exact location of their boat that they're going to use to travel out to the U-boat. And he's probably coming into the spy / archer to work out a quick route to get down there, be it going through buildings, because we might need Kingdom Quake to run us through some buildings. And he's still armored up because there's still a danger, so he hasn't unarmored, he hasn't but yeah, he's still warily got a sword point, but he's treating her with respect, as a gentleman should.
And as a reminder for everybody, the Eldritch Knight is, in fact, Lancelot from the Arthurian legends.
He is indeed. He's several thousand years old. He's over 1,000 years old at this point, not several thousand.
So the Spider Queen says, "Well, it's a private yacht. It's on this particular dock. You can't miss it. It's the largest private yacht out there. It will be flying the Nazi flag." And she gives you a full description of it. It does not have any name on the ship though itself, but you says there's no way you could possibly miss it.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
And as you were talking with our archer friend Roger, why don't you tell us a little bit about Sherwood and what you would be doing in that moment?
Sherwood would probably be trying to figure out the quickest way to get to the docks from where we are, as he'd be desperate to pursue and try and capture the people we're after and rescue Union Jack if he's with them.
Excellent. Give me either a logic or a vigilance check, difficulty 12. Ah, 17. Easy. So as you're thinking back to the mission briefs, you're remembering the maps that were laid out, and as a hunter, as the literal mystical embodiment of Robin Hood, the protector of Great Britain, you easily deduce that there is virtually a straight road that will lead down to the port from here. The only faster way to get there would be to fly. But you know it's a very quick straight shot, and you would expect that Battle Access is probably taking that path down to the port. And with that 17 success, I will tell you this too. Thinking about it, you think even though they've got a head start on you, by the time they get there, park the car, and have to get the yacht ready to sail, they probably don't have quite as much of a lead as you're afraid that they do. So you feel you could probably catch up to them.
Is there a vehicle outside?
There are plenty of vehicles outside. You could probably commandeer one.
Okay, I would probably be basically shouting to the rest of them, we can catch them if we leave right now, and running out towards the cars.
Can I tell which way the dock is?
Yeah. You definitely. You guys all were given a briefing about the Isle of Rhodes and the general layout of the island, so you know where the docks are. The port is from here.
Okay, well, Kingdom Quake's going to start banging his head with both hands, and then banging the floor with both fists, and then I'm just going to run towards the docks as fast as I can through anything that's in my way.
Wonderful. So what we see is Kingdom Quake, this alien behemoth, incredibly strong, with these, dark greenish skin and these rocky protrusions all around his body, tear out of the hotel. And as Sherwood is stating, let's find a vehicle, and Kingdom Quake runs out, we pan across and we see a woman. Stu, why don't you tell us about Lodestar? What does she look like, and what are you doing in this moment?
Lodestar is a Krylorian psychic and telekinetic. Basically, she's a psychic navigator and worked for the Krylorian Navy, Space Navy, obviously. She crash landed on Earth during just before World War One, and crash landed somewhere in the Sahara Desert, and was taken in by a Bedouin tribe, and she's adopted their name and culture, and sort of usually wears loose covering clothing so that it covers the fact that she's an alien. Her current dress is that of a sort of dervish warrior with full face mask and turban, and sort of loose fitting garments. So she looks a bit like a sort of scout, I guess. And one of her powers is the fact that she can fly. She can levitate using a telekinesis. So I am going to, when Kingdom Quake starts his run, I shall go outside of the hotel and I shall lift myself up in the air, and I will follow Kingdom Come's progress from the air, basically backing him up, but having a sort of higher, so I can look around, basically.
And for your levitation, is there a focus cost for this or anything of that nature?
Yeah, I believe. No, it
may or may not be. Maybe
no,
free.
I don't know. It doesn't appear to be. I don't think.
Okay.
There's no cost. It's sort of permanently on, and effectively I move at the same rate that I can run. So
what we see is we see Lodestar begin to run out of the hotel and then run up into the air. And at a certain elevation, she levels off and she's right over Kingdom Quake as he tears down the hill through these buildings. And she's just following the progress of his carnage through the city.
And with my with my telepathic link, I'll make sure Lance knows that I've gone.
Okay. So Lance, you hear in your mind that Lodestar and Kingdom Quake are on their way to the port. And at that point, the air pressure in the hotel changes momentarily, and you guys all feel sort of a sucking sensation pulling you towards a central point in the room, and then it pops, and there's a slight pushing out. And in that space is Professor Kronos. Now, you guys recognize him from briefings. You may not have ever worked with him before, but you do know that he's an operative of Operation Pendragon, and he's standing right in front of you.
Bloody hell.
Gentlemen, how are we all?
We are moving quickly towards a vehicle.
Which one?
Sherwood?
Aaron, I'm assuming vehicles can still move faster than we can.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Unless you got some sort of super speed or super fly speed, vehicles will outpace anybody on the foot or teleport.
Okay, I'll just be like, in the vehicle now, and I will be in whichever I thought was the fastest vehicle.
Give me a logic check. Difficulty 12.
Oh,
you got it.
Just
so as you're looking around, I mean, there's several different vehicles out here, but you spy one. It's an officer's car, a German officer's town car. But
is it like a Kugelwagen?
Yeah,
I was going to say the same thing.
But you can tell that it's been slightly souped up. The 12 allows you to get the best of the best cars, and you're able to jump into it.
The V6 Kugelwagen.
Aaron, as we're leaving the hotel, I'm going to turn to the spider lady. I've forgotten her name already. Spider Queen.
Spider Queen.
Yeah, and I'm going to throw her it's like a little pouch, and in it is a key with an address. And he said, "That's one of mine. Go hide in it. I'm going to trust you. No more Axis, no more Nazis. Consider this a gesture of goodwill."
She looks at you. She's like, maybe the Allies aren't as weak as I thought. Maybe there's a chance against the communists with your side. I'll think on it. And as you hear her scuttling off as you head towards the car. So the three of you get to the car.
Floor it.
Can't believe Lance is flirting with the bad guys while we're trying to sort them out.
Somebody give me a vigilance check to see if you're lucky enough to have the keys.
Oh, I was already. Well, I would have already been trying to work on that while everyone was faffing around.
So give me a vigilance check and let's see.
All of us or just Roger?
Just Roger. But I'll say you guys can aid him. So take it with an edge. So
I got a
roll
Marvel dice, an 18.
Oh God. All right. So you get in and yeah, it is
It's
the
already
keys are
running.
right there. It is, yeah, the keys are in the ignition. It is ready to go. The three of you leap in with that marvel, with that success. I will say that you get a jump on it. You guys move so quickly and so efficiently that you fly by as you see Kingdom Quake running next to the car, breaking through buildings. You see Lodestar above you, but you're able to catch up and pass them as you head down towards the docks.
I probably would have in the back seat because I'm a bit of a show off and whatnot. And I'd lean forward and go, Sherwood, I was a little bit jealous of their flying and running through buildings, but good job, old chap. Lean back.
Yeah, I probably won't even respond. I'm just focused on, like when you see the helmet cam footage on Formula One drivers, just that. Sort of bombing it downhill at God knows whatever speed a V6 Cooper wagon goes.
Give me an agility check. Make it a you're going at full speed, just a 12. It's just going to be a DC 12 because it's a pretty straight shot.
19.
Yeah. Okay, so Sherwood, with his incredible hand-eye coordination and manual dexterity, easily navigates the car. You come screaming down into the port. You're moments ahead of Kingdom Quake and of Lodestar, who are running above you.
With
And
that,
it's
could
just
there
a
be like a
team-
ramp at the bottom of the thing that just happens to point at the boat?
Oh, I was going to say something else. I was going to suggest you do a sideward skid as Lance prepares to use the force of the skid to throw him onto the boat.
Which one do you guys want to try? I'm all about
I want to
the
land the
factors of
car
fun.
on the boat.
Is the boat big enough to land a car on? I think is probably one of the important questions we need to ask.
It's a pretty big yacht, but you don't know how structurally sound it would be to land one of these incredibly
I think I might
heavy
feel safer
cars
teleporting onto the
on
boat.
it. It's up to you guys.
I'm going for the ramp.
Oh, God.
Okay. So,
Well, you gentlemen certainly do have a flair for the dramatic.
Just remember, something cool.
so give me an agility check. This is going to be difficult though. This is because there's not a really great ramp. It's going to be a difficulty 16 to land the car on the yacht. Now, Professor Kronos
17.
did mention. Good God, you're good. So, describe what it looks like as you catapult this car off the side of the pier and onto the deck of this ship or this yacht.
So the foredeck of the boat, it's the biggest, most open area of the boat. So I kind of aim for that, ramp up. The car screams over the water in a ridiculous way that never would work in reality. Lands on the thing and skids to a halt right in front of the door into the boat.
It's beautiful. And that's exactly what happened. So Kingdom Come and Lodestar, you see
Catapulting
Sherwood
Lance through the door into the boat.
You see Sherwood, as he's laughing, catapults this German car off the docks, lands on the yacht, skids it to a perfect stop, and right in front of a group of individuals. What you see directly in front of you, with startled looks on his face, is Master Man. You know him as a Nazi and a super soldier. He's wearing a dark navy, almost black jumpsuit with a red circle on his chest and a black swastika in the middle, and these golden gloves and boots, and he's the perfect Aryan look, except for he's got this evil scowl on his face that settles back in as soon as the astonishment of this action settles away. Standing next to him is another individual that you recognize, the artificial synthezoid Volton, brother to the original Human Torch, crackling with lightning and electricity all over his red-clad android body. Behind them, you see a strange-looking individual in garish garb with green hair, and he's pulled back an unconscious Union Jack, and he's muttering to himself. And there are a few other agents behind him. But you guys got the drop on them. They were definitely not expecting that. So I've moved everybody over to the kind of the battle map. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to give you, I'm going to give the three of you a free round before we go into initiative to take any sorts of actions you want to take. As a reminder to everybody out there who's watching, they've elected as a team maneuver to take the defensive team maneuver. So if during one round during this combat, if they choose, they could get an additional damage reduction of 2 added to their damage reduction. So you're in the car, skids to a stop. In front of you are Voltan and Masterman, and behind him is this weird individual that you can only assume is Trevor Fitzroy, and he's got a semi-conscious form of Union Jack in his arms. Let's go ahead and roll for initiative. Let me pull out the combat tracker here and clear it before anybody rolls. Okay. So go ahead and roll your initiative. Remember to select your token.
Edge on this. Yes.
Well, I think I've got an edge on initiative.
Okay, so if you want to go in there, you can re-roll and make a change. Let me know what your final number is, and I'll go in and change it.
Of course, I edge a 1 into a 1. Classic Dan.
Everybody in?
Okay, so yeah,
I
mine
think I might
needs
have
to
the
change
edge.
from 11 to 15.
15? Okay, let me make that change for you.
I've got edge as well.
All right.
Daniel P. Where's Jim? That one there. We'll re-roll it.
Yeah, if you go and you hover over whichever one you want to try to roll an edge on.
Yeah, it's not letting me.
Okay, let me see what your roll is here. Let me see what I can do about it. All right, Jim.
It's readied out.
You definitely.
Hold on a second. Is it because some condition I've got?
Should not be. No. Let me see if I can do it for you.
Oh, it might be. Wasn't you down to 0 thingy-bob last time?
That doesn't matter. Your karma down to 0 karma or focus won't affect your ability to activate an edge. So
okay.
All right, let me see if I can. There you go. Okay, so you're up to a 13 now.
Is it because have I done something wrong on the couch sheet for that?
No. I think all you do is you hover over it and then you select edge, and it should automatically re-roll it.
Yeah, when I hover over it though, when I hover over it, it gives me edge and trouble. But when I go to edge, it reds it out.
Yeah, you got to click on it.
No, I've done that.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
See, you definitely just rolled it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Re-rolled it. Yeah.
I was re-rolling it all that time.
That's okay. No worries. We've got you guys set. So the turn order is Voltan first, then Sherwood, Lodestar, the Eldritch Knight, Kingdom Quake, Professor Kronos, and then Masterman last. However, in this first round, Voltan, Masterman, Lodestar, and Killer and Kingdom Quake are not here yet. So it'll just be Sherwood and the Eldritch Knight and Professor Kronos who can act. So Sherwood, that brings you up first. So you're facing off against Masterman and Voltan at the moment.
Okay, so I kind of is the Cooper Vargonaut like a convertible? I mean, is it open?
Yeah.
At the top. Okay. Yeah. So I kind of.
It's more interesting.
So I spring out of the driver's seat, landing on the bonnet of the car or the hood, if you're American, and basically just fire the bow straight at whichever one of them is closer. Let's go with the electric-y dude. Sounds threatening.
So your move action is to leap out of the car and onto the bonnet, and then you are going to attack Volton. So go ahead and roll. And what kind of attack? What attack are you using?
I'm using my bow, which I'm trying to remember how to do it. So do I just roll agility combat? Is that what I roll?
Yep, that's all you need to roll.
And I have 2 edges on this, so I'm going to use one.
Okay.
And that one. Can I use the edge on the same one again?
Yes, you can.
There we go. 17.
Okay, so you're laying down, and he's moving so fast that you almost miss, but you were able at the last second. You draw a bead on him and fire, and you hit him. Barely, but you do hit him. So what's your damage?
Do I just click on where it says damage?
Yeah, should have rolled the damage if you rolled on the if you had rolled the
there we go.
Okay. So
Oof.
well, that's a second attack. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to do it based on your original roll. So what is your multiplier? Your damage multiplier?
My multiplier is ×4 +5.
Okay. Okay, so 2 times 4 is 8 plus 5 is 13 damage. So you see the arrow go in, and you see it strike a field of electricity surrounding Volton, and the arrow basically disintegrates as it makes contact and does not actually get to him, being destroyed by his elemental protection field.
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans. You still have your reactions, which you and as a reminder to everybody, and you can use your reaction at any point in combat to interrupt anything. So some of you may have powers that are reactions themselves. The other reactions, you can use to escape. Several different options. They're all on your character sheet. If you toggle over to actions, it will tell you what your actions, reactions, and movement are. So keep those in mind. That brings us down to Lodestar. You're still running on the air. You'll be here next round. So we're to the Eldritch Knight. So the Eldritch Knight sees Sherwood jump out quickly, fire an arrow at Volton, and see it disintegrate as it strikes the energy field around him. What would you like to do?
I'm going to casually saunter up to the super soldier chap. Very, very casually, and be like, "Righto, old chap, are you sure you want to do this?" And then he's going to
crack his knuckles.
Excellent, fantastic. And he's going to go swipe at him with his sword.
All right. Now he has damage reduction of 2. So what's your damage multiplier?
Damage multiplier 4.
Okay, so now it's effectively 2 against this guy.
Okie dokie. So I'm going to spend some points. I'm going to spend 5 on combat trickery. So 5 focus points on combat trickery.
And explain to everybody what that does.
That gives me an automatic marvel dice. So automatic fantastic dice. So let's roll the dice. And then I have an edge. So I'll just edge that one into a 2. So 17.
17. All right. A 17 is a miss.
Outrageous.
Outrageous. Yeah, his melee defense is 19.
Jeez Louise.
However, you get a second edge, and I forgot to mention that since you guys are basically acting in a surprise round, you get an edge to combat, so you can re-roll that 2 again if you'd like.
Hey, there we go.
Oh my god, you got the ultimate fantastic success. So, wow. Now that's 27 points of damage. Well, we got to reduce it a little bit.
Yeah, so it'd be 6 times 2, won't it? So it'd be 12, 15, but then it's doubled.
Actually, my rule, this is a house rule for me, but because you got the ultimate fantastic success, I triple the damage because I don't think they give you enough when you get that roll. So triple damage.
So 15, 45 damage, and he also gains the bleeding condition because I am a combat person with a sword, and that is
All
one of
right.
my special things when I get a fantastic success. I didn't even need to use my thing. He did, because I rolled the marvel.
You did. So you can take those 5 focus points back.
Yes.
I'm not cruel. I'll let you have them back. So you come in and you slam into him, and you see a stunned look on his face as your blade actually penetrates his near bulletproof skin, and blood starts flowing down from the wound, and he just starts to growl in rage. You've definitely heard him, but he is not down. Kingdom Quake, you are almost to the dock. You see the boat. Next round, you'll be able to jump up there, bringing us to Professor Kronos, who is in the vehicle. What would you like to do?
Can I see the ship's engine from where I am, or a doorway to the lower decks or anything like that?
You absolutely could see the doorway down to the lower decks, and where you would expect to be able to find the engine compartment.
Then I would like to teleport there.
Okay, it's a blind teleport because you've never been down there. There is a power for blind teleport, but I think they break. To be honest with you, I think they break some of these powers down a little bit too much. So I'm going to let you do it, but you have to spend 5 focus for it.
Do I use teleport 1 or teleport 2?
You can use either one. It's just a change in distance. So with teleport 1, you can easily get there.
Does it still roll? It's just the first time I've used a power.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to roll. You shouldn't have to roll for teleportation. It's just a movement action.
Ah, in which case, there we go. I will do that.
All right, so you find yourself in the engine compartment. Just based on what you know about boats and your own skills, you were able to deduce with some focus where it would likely be. And what's it look like when you teleport? You know, Nightcrawler's got his BAMF. Other people have different things. What?
So Professor Kronos kind of disappears in a series of wavy Kronos lines in a very sort of cheesy 1960s wavy effect. Yeah, exactly that.
Accompanied by theremin music.
Yeah.
So you guys haven't worked with Professor Kronos before, but you glance over and he says, and poof, he's gone. You don't know where he's gone to, but you are in. So that was your move action. You are now in the engine room. You still have your standard action. What would you like to do?
I'm going to break the engine.
All right. Give me, how do you want to break it?
Well, being a lieutenant in His Majesty's Navy, I'd like to think I know 1 or 2 things about boats. I know for a fact that they make me seasick and that I don't like them, but I'm sure if I pull out a couple of cogs in this thing, it might stop working. So
right.
I will start taking out a couple of pistons.
Give me a logic test.
Oh, I'm good at
Difficulty
that.
12.
So if I click on logic.
$18 in total. Fantastic.
Cool.
So yeah, you look at this machine, this engine, you're thinking, this is so rudimentary, and you just start disassembling it. I mean, within moments, you've ensured that this boat is going nowhere.
Excellent.
And for anybody in the chat who was reading some of the comments, Eric was mentioning my shirt. This is a Norse Foundry shirt. Fantastic. If you've got any holiday dice needs, dice tray needs, or anything of the like, I strongly suggest taking a look at Norse Foundry. They're having an incredible sale right now. I know I spent way too much money there myself just yesterday. So that takes us through the first round of combat. This first moment of surprise as this car went careening onto the boat. And we're at the top of round 2. Volton, the synthezoid, the master of electricity, much like his brother is a master of fire, looking at all of you, and you can just see his eyes are completely blank. So you have no idea what he's thinking or how he's reacting, but thousands of calculations are going on in his mind a second as he's trying to assess who the greatest threat may be. And he takes his movement action. You see him fly up off of the boat, hovering over the edge of the boat as he sees Kingdom Quake running towards the ship. And he unleashes with an elemental blast. So for those out there who haven't played this game yet, or for some of my players who may not know anything about Elemental Blast, the character makes a ranged attack with edge against an enemy, in this case Kingdom Quake, in their line of sight. For the attack, they can add 1 to the character's agility damage bonus for every 2 points of focus they spend. On a success, an affected target takes the total damage. On a fantastic success, the affected target takes double damage and suffers the Elements type special effect. So he is going to use this Elemental Blast to attack Kingdom Quake. I am going to spend 20 points of focus on this, in addition to the 5 points of focus. So 25 points of focus in total. If he hits, it will be an additional 10 points of damage.
At what point do we activate our defensive trait as a team?
Anytime you want. It's the top of the round. You guys can do it right now if you want.
I mean, in Lance's mind, I think this is the point where we're about to get hit back, and we want to turn this fight quickly. But obviously, I don't know what the rest of the team are feeling on this one. But I feel like we should activate our defensive protocols essentially now.
Yeah,
What do you
happy
think
with that.
for this round?
Yeah,
Yeah.
go for it. Yeah.
I will say you were all close enough, to activate this. You will all get an additional 2 points of damage reduction. Now,
So I'm
rules as
assuming
written.
Lodestar's still in my head, right?
Mhm.
So you can probably still hear my thoughts. So I'm like,
Mhm.
Lodestar, drop a psychic barrier on like Kingdom Quake, and like I kind of like armor move my sort of, you almost see my armor sort of compress and become tighter, like it's about to reflect damage or something like that. No, just to give it a role playing
Nice
aspect.
visual. I like it. Now, normally rules as written, your damage reduction probably would not stack, but I think that's just cruel and heartless for a narrator to do, particularly on a holiday week. So if you already have sturdy and you already have some sort of damage reduction, I'm going to go ahead and let this 2 points of damage reduction stack because I think it's fun and I think you guys earned it. So Volton flies into the air, his lower body turning into electricity, his arms crackling with energy as he looks down at Kingdom Quake, recognizing the sheer fury and physical force of this being. He unleashes a stream of golden electricity at Kingdom Quake. Kingdom Quake, what is your agility defense?
Oh, agility defense 16.
All right, that's not too bad. So let's see how we do here. Gets a 15, but he does have an edge. So I'm going to go ahead and roll. Gets a 17. That's a hit, right?
Yeah.
That is a hit. So, but it's not a fantastic success. But I did dump extra focus into it. So you take 34 points of, no, wait a second. You've got, what's your damage reduction right now?
Damage reduction. Help me out.
So do you have any points in sturdy?
Sturdy, yes, I do.
How many?
Sturdy 2.
Okay, so now you're effectively sturdy 4. So although he still does hit, the damage is a lot less because it takes it down to an effective damage multiplier of 1. So that's actually 4 plus 4 is 8. Plus 10, you take 18 points of health damage as this electricity rocks through your body. However, it wasn't enough to stun you, so your turn will not be affected. If Volton had any expression at all on his face, you would recognize, you would see irritation and shock at his inability to slow down Kingdom Quake. So that is his move action and his standard action. He's got a couple of reactions, but he hasn't used them yet, bringing us to Sherwood. Sherwood, you're on the bonnet of the car. what would you like to do? You just saw Votan fly into the air and is actually sort of hovering above and behind you a little bit as he fires down at Kingdom Quake.
Okay. How far from me is the? I don't know. So we've got two people besides the electric dude that shatters my arrows, haven't we?
Yeah, you've
We've
got
the super
Trevor
soldier
Fitzroy,
and the other guy.
Trevor Fitzroy is kind of hiding behind Union Jack, and he's not engaging. Let's put it that way. He looks a little cowardly. In other words, he's not in the initiative order.
Okay.
And he's not going to attack you. And you've got the Master Man, who is the Nazi super soldier, who's currently engaged with the Eldritch Knight.
Okay, and how close to me is that Master Man guy?
You're within 3 spaces.
Oh wow, so close.
Yeah, you guys. I mean, the yacht's big for 1943, but it's not that big.
Okay. All right. I guess I will take a shot at the super soldier guy. At least, hopefully, he shouldn't just shatter my arrows.
All right, let's give it a shot. What is your damage multiplier?
×4.
Okay, so it's reduced to ×2 for this. So we'll do the calculations when it comes to it. But go ahead and fire your arrow. 20, nice.
I've got 20, but I've got 2 edges, so I'm going to try and.
I like it. And remember, your rerolls don't
Oh.
reduce it. You get the better. Oh my gosh, got a
Okay,
marvel.
so let's try and get this. Oh no, it didn't. All right.
Still a 22 with a marvel. So tell me about what happens when you get ultimate success on your attack.
I don't.
Does it got any special? Which attack are you using?
I think I'm too close to use snipe, unfortunately.
Okay. Well, then the standard, the default is double damage. So with a 6 on your Marvel dice, and he's got sturdy 2, and you said your combat multiplier was
standard ×4.
Okay, so it's reduced to ×2. So that's 6 × 2 is 12, and your bonus is
It's 5, I would imagine.
5?
+5, yeah.
Okay. So that's 17 × 2, 32 points of damage. So what's it look like when your arrow sinks into this guy? Where do you hit him?
Well, I'm actually trying to hit him in the knee. I'm trying to basically send him off balance. So when he takes a swing back at Lancelot, that it kind of misses.
Okay. So here's what I'll say. You can do regular damage if you want. Instead of 32, you can do 16 points of damage, and you will give Master Man double trouble on his next attack.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
So yeah, the arrow goes between Lancelot's legs into this guy.
Just swoosh, right between Lance's legs, smacks Master Man in his knee. He shifts his weight a little bit. You still have a move action.
I will move further away from him.
Okay, so you scramble off the vehicle and move back a ways.
Oh, I'm not scrambling off. I'm gonna backflip off the vehicle.
Please forgive my horrible description. We see Sherwood tuck his bow, backflip off.
Can I fire midair while I'm backflipping?
Yes, we can have. That's absolutely exactly what happened. So you see Sherwood look at how close he is to this super soldier, jumps in the air, backflips, fires an arrow between Sherwood's legs, strikes Mastermind in the knee, lands beautifully behind the vehicle, and capable at this point of taking any reaction should one come up that you want to take. Bringing us to Lodestar. Lodestar, you are now above, running through the air. You're above the deck of the yacht. What would you like to do?
Well, I'd like to know how much I can lift with my telekinesis. It doesn't seem to say in the power at all.
Let's take a quick look at
Telekinetic
telekinesis.
manipulation. So I take it the more I lift, the harder the target.
Yeah. What is your logic score?
My logic is 5, and I have 1 level of brilliance as well.
Okay.
Come
I will say, yeah, it depends on how much you want to lift is going to affect the difficulty. You could lift this car with a difficulty of 12.
How
So
about
your
if
standard difficulty, you could lift a car. I'm going to
I
say.
get you. Right. How about if
Kind
I
of trying to relate what I'm doing for anybody else at home is I'm trying to relate telekinetic manipulation to strength to give us an idea of where he would be at, brilliance versus mighty, etc. So
right. So potentially then I could, with a really good roll, I might be able to lift the boat. If I really pushed it, I might be able to lift the boat out of the water.
you could definitely try, yes.
Well, that's what we're going to try and do.
Okay. Hold on for just a quick second.
I don't want it to go anywhere.
Just looked it up. Okay, so that's going to be a difficulty 18. So
right. Okay. Let's see what we can do then. So non-combat or combat attack? It's a non-combat, isn't it?
it's non-combat. Well, no, it's part of your combat action. So it's not you're not going to get your non-combat multiplier. So still roll it as a combat roll.
As an attack, basically.
Yeah, roll it as an attack because you're doing some battlefield control here. All right, you got an ultimate success. You got a marvel on your marvel die and a total of 19. So what's it look like when you pick up this yacht with your mind?
Basically, you can see Lodestar start to sort of lift her hands like this, and you can see them shaking as she does, and her mind focused as her sort of eyes turn brighter yellow, coming out from behind the goggles that she's wearing, and the whole boat starts to gently rise out of the water.
Nice. So you see Lodestar floating above this boat as it now pulls up out of the water, definitely not going anywhere, at least while she's holding on to it. Now, this is a little reminder for players and everybody else out. The way this game works when it comes to concentrating on powers, you can concentrate on a number of powers equal to your total rank. So you guys are all rank 2. So currently Lodestar is concentrating on 2 powers. So Lodestar cannot engage in another power without releasing either her levitation or the telekinetic grab on this boat. You do still have a move action. Do you want to go anywhere?
Taking the boat with me. No, I think I'll just stay out of the way and just make sure they're not going anywhere, basically.
I like it. All right, the Eldritch Knight. You feel the boat pull up out of the water, but you've been fighting wars for 1,000 years. So as weird as this isn't your first rodeo, so it does not throw you off your game. What would you like to do?
So obviously, like you said, he's not off balance or anything, but he's like, this is a new one even for me. And how badly sort of does the man in front of me look fairly injured? Does he look like he's got an arrow in the knee, so he's no longer his adventuring days are now over.
He looks a little beat up, but you also see that the wounds on his body are starting to heal.
Well, as a sort of, rather than the move action, I'm going to offer him the opportunity to yield, as I am a knight and I'm a gentleman, and so I offered him the opportunity to yield, speaking perfect German.
This is a free action, by the way, for anybody out there. Talks a free action, and as a free action, he spits blood onto your armor,
and it kind of sizzles. Fine, fair enough. Don't say I didn't try. And then he's going to attack the chap again. And I've read Combat Tricky, so I don't know if I spend it before or after. It doesn't really say. It just says once per person when attacking. So
once per combat. So you can do it one time. You choose. I think you'd have to choose it before. I kind of gave it. Since you got it
so
last
I
time,
won't use it then because so we'll just try and whack him, and then I'm going to edge that. Come on, there we are. 19.
19. You hit
beat it to beat it.
Your blade comes in and strikes him. He does have sturdy 2, so it takes your multiplier down to 2. Yep. So that's 13 points of damage as the blade cuts in on him, and another ragged wound right across the swastika on his chest opens up. and he looks down at you in a rage for what you are doing to him. He
Don't forget, he does have the
thinks
bleeding
of himself
condition.
as the master race. So, and he does have the bleeding condition, so he takes another on at the end of his turn. He will take 5 more points of damage on top of that. You still have a move actions and any reactions, or you don't want to
No,
move anywhere?
just sitting there ready to get punched.
All right, at this point, Kingdom Quake, after having been mildly shocked by Volton, who's still floating in the air above you, you leap onto the deck, or, well, you tell me what you do.
Well, so I'm still running it technically, you know, to get there.
Mhm.
But so as I've broke through this building and this electrical man who's hovering above me tries to attack me, I'm going to grab hold of a piece of wall in each hand, and I'm going to leap up in the air, and I'm going to basically try and squash him between these two pieces of wall.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. I love it. I will give you, so you use your jump power to jump up at him. And because of this marvelous description of what you are doing, I will give you an edge on your attack.
Okay. So it's just a melee attack, isn't it?
Just a melee attack against his melee defense.
Oh, what a shit.
You do have an edge, so you can re-roll any one of those dice if you want.
And I re-rolled a 2.
You got the same thing. However, I will tell you this: his melee defense is only 11. He's not a melee fighter, so you do hit. So you bring these 2 pieces of wall crushing against him. However, as they hit him, you see the electrical energy field around him pulse out. So he uses one of his reactions to strengthen his electrical protection, and none of the damage goes through. These walls basically make contact with the electricity. They shock, they burn, and they disintegrate out of your hands as you fall back down at the end of your jump onto the deck of the boat.
Cool.
Bring us to Professor Kronos, who is down in the engine room.
Okay, so I'm going to come back on deck.
Okay, so your move action, you come back up on deck. You get back up there right as Kingdom Quake lands on the deck. Kingdom Quake and Sherwood are basically standing next to one another at the back end of the car. You see the Eldritch Knight engaged in one-on-one combat with the Master Man, and Volton is still flying in the air above us. You also see Lodestar floating above you, also floating the yacht that you felt lift out of the water.
Okay. The one who's flying above, is he one of ours?
No, I mean Lodestar is one of yours, but Volton, the other guy
Volton,
flying above you,
okay.
is not.
Wonder if I can try and teleport onto him to get him onto the deck. Actually, I'm going to walk back down to the engine room, grab a heavy weight of it, and walk back up. So my action will be for next turn with this heavy weight in my hand. I'm basically going to try and teleport onto him to bring him down to the floor.
I love it. Okay. So you see out of the corner of your eye, you see Professor Kronos walk up with his pipe, look around, turn around, walk back down. They come back up with this large weight in his hands, bringing us finally to Master Man, who has been taking a beating for the last few seconds. But he's got a target right in front of him. An irritating Eldritch Knight who has just been cutting him to ribbons. Do you have do you have sturdy? You got sturdy, right? So what is
I currently have a
sturdy?
damage reduction of 4.
Okay. So until the end of his action, yes, and then it'll be after that turn will be done. So that reduces his damage multiplier to 2. Now what he is going to do is you see him reach out to try to grab you with his these massive strong hands of his. Ooh, well, 6, a 6, and a 1 does a 19
It absolutely does.
hit you. Okay. Just take regular damage, 42 points of damage.
He's got double trouble.
He's got
Oh,
double
that's
trouble.
right, double
so,
trouble.
Actually, valid point. Reroll one of those 6s, please, and let's see what we get.
All right.
Okay,
Take out a
reroll
5,
reroll the other 6, please.
All right. All right.
Oh, my
Got a
God.
6 again.
So you still
Does an
hit.
18 still hit you? All
Yeah,
right.
18 still hits me.
But it reduces the damage down to just 36 points of damage.
Well, no, because I've got damage reduction 4.
Well, that's right. So
you've only got times 2.
2. So it's only times 2. So your damage is
16.
Yep.
That's fine.
16 points of damage.
That's absolutely fine.
But now he will use, now that he's grabbed a hold of you, so you're grabbed, which means you are pinned or paralyzed, but that's not going to really matter much because he's going to do some other things here in a second. He will use his reaction to do a crushing grip. So he makes a melee attack against your resilience defense.
Okay.
And what is your resilience defense?
14.
He
Get out of town.
misses. He misses.
Yes,
does
he
not
does.
have any edge at the moment. So he's trying to crush you, but your armor is so hot and so mystically resilient that he can't quite get a handle on it.
I think what you see his hands come in, and you almost hear like the but then you almost see the scales, which were flexible a second ago, and lock together almost like a shield wall, and he can't push it because it's just.
Yeah. He's just straining and straining. Now, at this point, I'll point out you did not use your reaction, and you still have your reaction, and you can use your reaction at any point to attempt to escape.
I'm not going to, because I'm going to use a power, because he has made a melee attack and failed. I'm going to do riposte, and I'm going to hit him. So as he's crushing me, I'm going to jab with my sword. I'm assuming I'm still holding my sword. He hasn't made me drop my weapons, is he?
Well, no, but you still have to escape first because you can't take any actions until you escape.
Oh, okay then. I'll try and escape then. How do I escape?
It is a melee check against his melee defense, I believe, but let me double check that.
I should roll it, and then we'll see if I get anywhere close to it. I don't think I'm going to be escaping because he's got very high, isn't he? Yeah, I'm not going to escape.
Strong. Pretty strong.
I only rolled 13, so I remember last time I needed like a 19 to hit him or something like that. So
let me just double check. You make a melee check against there's melee defense. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, you would need a 19.
Yeah, I definitely didn't get that.
Okay. So that was his action and reaction. He is not going to take any move actions. He's just standing there. Bring us to the top of round 3. At this point, your additional damage reduction is gone. Bolton is flying in the air. He recognized that he didn't do that much to Kingdom Quake, but he sees this woman floating next to him with glowing golden eyes, who has literally picked the yacht up with her mind. And he recognizes that she may be a bigger threat than his initial threat assessment gave. So he is going to blast her with his elemental blast.
Uh-oh.
He gets an edge on this. He's not going to spend any additional focus on it because he spent a fair amount of focus last time. But he is going to go ahead and give it a shot. Does a 14 hit you?
What are we?
Your
Is it agility
defense? Yeah.
Sorry?
Your agility defense?
Yeah, it certainly does.
All right, he's still got an edge, so he's gonna see if he can make it a fantastic success. He does not. It does not change at all. So you take 24 points of electrical damage to your health.
Yeah. Okay. So leaves me on 36. Okay.
And he's continuing to fly around there. And hey, everybody, keep an eye on the chat. People are throwing out re-rolls like crazy. Thank you, Non-Anomaly. Thank you, Lupercall, for my re-roll Appreciate it. What we're going to do with rerolls is an edge. You get an edge for it. So, or alternatively, you could give me a point of trouble on my attack. So it'll kind of work like a karma point, except for you don't get the recovery benefit. All right, he's not going to use any of his reactions. He's continuing to fly above the air as he shoots electricity at Lodestar, attempting to take her out, bringing us back around to Sherwood.
Okay, I'm assuming when I kind of leapt backwards, I wasn't able to get sort of far enough away from the super soldier to snipe them.
What is the range?
20 yards.
Yeah, no. You'd have to be off the boat. You'd have to get on the dock to be in.
Dang it.
In that range.
All right, well, I may as well just shoot him normally then. It's not anything else more interesting that I can do.
And who are you shooting at, Voltan or Masterman?
I will shoot at Masterman.
All right.
Because the other one just incinerates my arrows.
Yep. I don't know if you get a fantastic success like you were doing some last time. Okay, at the moment, what is Masterman's agility? Do you have an edge or anything?
Yeah, I've got
a
two.
reroll. Okay, if you'd like to use those, I would recommend, because at the moment you're not hitting. 21 hits.
21.
Fantastic. So that's a 6. What's your damage multiplier?
×4.
Okay, so it's reduced to ×2 for him. So that's
15.
15 points of damage. Okay, so you see him, another arrow sticks in him, and he is, even with his regeneration.
Sorry, Roger, is it 12 plus 5, isn't it?
It's DM ×4 plus 5. So DM times 2.
Yeah.
Plus 5.
What's
so yeah,
DM?
it would be 17. It would be 17. All right, so
sure.
The arrow is sticking in him again, and he's starting to falter a little bit. He's looking weaker.
Can I hit him in the hand, trying to make him let go of Lancelot?
Okay, so that's like a called shot. You can do that. I mean, you could. I'll let you do it, but you won't. Instead of doing damage, he'll just release his grasp.
No, I'll just hit him.
Okay. So the arrow comes in, strikes him. He kind of wrestles the Eldritch Knight to the side, and he looks daggers at you as if to say, as soon as I crush the life out of your friend, I'm going to eat your soul for breakfast. Bringing us to the recently electrified Lodestar.
Yeah, looking a bit crispy at the edges, I think. I am going to sink. I don't know if I'm over a roof or a balcony.
Well, you're right over the yacht at the moment.
Right. Well, what I'm gonna do is sink to the key side, so that I release one concentration on one power, basically.
Okay. So
and then I'm going to unleash.
Drop down.
Yeah. So I'm going to drop down to the floor, carry on carrying the yacht, and then I'm going to unleash a telekinetic attack at Electric Boy.
Okay. And is that against his agility defense? Or
against his melee defense.
Melee defense. Okay, excellent.
Ooh.
14 is a hit. Do you have an edge? Do you want to try to?
Yeah, if I can
use it on the 6. No, you want to use it on the one to get the Marvel.
Oh right,
it doesn't make a difference because the Marvel becomes a 6 anyway.
Yeah, I know. You get a fantastic success, you get double damage.
Double damage.
Yeah, that.
That's okay. So. Yep.
So your telekinetic. Describe what it looks like when this telekinetic strike hits Voltan.
It's basically like a sort of almost invisible fist. There's sort of like a blast of air that's been moved to hit them, basically. So. What you kind of see, you wouldn't normally see much unless there was a leaf or maybe a few insects in the air that kind of move with it as you see it. But I suppose in a comic book you get this sort of puff of air, wouldn't you, drawn in with like lots of lines as it smashes into his face.
And what it looks like is it comes at Voltan. You see this electrical field that's surrounding him. Take the hit. But because he's only got 2 reactions and he's already used one, actually penetrates through the protective barrier, and you see it fizzle out. So his elemental protection is down. Now he doesn't take any damage this round, but you did exceed the total for elemental protection. So his elemental protection shield was down. If he had still had 2 reactions, he could have used elemental reinforcement to keep it up and bypass that by taking some additional focus damage. But he is unprotected at the moment. You recognize that energy dissipating from around him. Bringing us around to the Eldritch Knight and the grasps.
Use my reaction first to try and break free.
Excellent.
I mean, I'm not holding out too much hope. Well, let me just use my edge. Nope, still can't break free. So I'm stuck.
Well, you've also can attempt to escape with your standard action, so you can attempt to escape again.
Okay. Hey, there we go. I've managed to escape.
All right, and you got a Marvel die on it. So, all right, so you're able, you use your reaction. You did escape from his grasp.
With the Marvel, can I headbutt him? Don't want to do any damage. It's just for dramatic effect.
No, I like it. I like it.
So he's like, nuts him.
And you see blood start to pour out of his nose. And just this, even you didn't think it was possible for somebody to turn more purple than Masterman was before you headbutted him, but it did happen. He is enraged.
And then my wounds start to heal.
And he looks down. He's like even more disgusted now as Kingdom Quake. You are now standing on the deck of this yacht. Voltan is still flying above you, and Masterman is faced off against the Eldritch Knight. What would you like to do?
I'm going to play baseball with Voltan with the car. So I'm going to pick up the car that he landed on there and use it as a baseball bat, swing it around my head, and I'm going to try and smack him out the air with it.
Okay, I'm going to say he's low enough in the air that you don't have to throw it. You can just hit him with it, so that's going to be a melee attack against his melee defense. As Kingdom Quake picks up this German car, fine German machine, and uses
not the Kuppelwagen.
Force von Dirk technique. And hit him with it.
So, do you have what power are you using? Do you have smash or something?
Yeah,
I've
got smash.
Okay, so that gives you an edge, and if you want, you can spend additional focus to do additional damage to him. But you have to tell me how much focus you want to spend up front.
Well, I've rolled, so I won't use no focus.
Okay. But you do have an edge.
Use it on the Marvel dice, the middle one. Because if you get a Marvel, then you do more damage.
No, my rerolls always seem to be the same number.
I know.
It seems to be very common here.
Yeah. But you do 20 points of damage, and because his energy field is down, it all goes through. So what's it look like when you smash this car into him?
Yeah, basically, it's the old... I've hit him with the side of the car. The driver's door has caught him smack bang, leaving an imprint on the driver's door as he gets knocked sort of sideways in the air. I don't know whether he can recover in the air and stop himself from falling, but... Yeah, he's going that way quite quickly.
I like it. Yes, you see Voltan start to fly out. I will say that he's going to have to use his movement action to arrest his rapid departure if he wants to stay in the fight, because Kingdom Quake hit him hard.
Rah!
Professor Kronos, you've just walked back up onto the deck with your heavy weight. You see Voltan start to fly off over the water after Kingdom Quake just hit him with a car. What would you like to do?
I'd like to try and sink him. So I'm going to teleport above him and drop this weight on him.
Mm-hmm.
The purpose of which is to try and get him into the water, and then I'm going to teleport away because I will be falling at a vast amount of.
Yeah, you've got the blink power, right?
Yeah, I've got blink.
Okay, so you can use your movement action to teleport, your standard action to hit him with this weight, and then your reaction to blink back.
Cool, I'll do that.
Yeah. Okay. So
How much does that
you
take?
guys see Professor Kronos disappear. He reappears right above Voltan. Give me, are you hitting him with it or are you dropping him on it? Dropping the weight on him?
I'm dropping it on him.
Give me an agility attack.
Uh-oh.
So where it says agility attack, roll that. And I'm going to give you an edge on this because it's completely unexpected.
Agility attack.
So on your character sheet on the left side, when you look at ability scores,
Yeah.
see where it says the last column says attack. It'll say DM times something
yeah,
plus
okay.
something. Roll that.
That work?
16. Nice. And you've got an edge, so you can re-roll that. You can re-roll your Marvel die if you want.
That's pretty good though, isn't it? I'll stay with that.
You can never do
you
worse.
can't get
though.
worse. You get the better of the two results.
Is that the red one?
Yeah.
That's the one in the middle. Yep. Exact same. That's
Exact
so
same.
Again.
I don't know if this is working right because I just did it again and got the exact same thing too every time. Yeah, that's not working right. Whatever it's doing, it is.
Oh,
Then it works. I don't know. It seems a little off. So if you've got a physical dice, or if you just want to pull up the dice roller when you roll an edge, you could just roll on the dice roller on Roll20. And we can do it that way because it seemed, like 6 out of 7 times that you're getting the exact same result. So there's something a little hanky there. But we'll take you will take your first reroll, which gave us 10. I'm going to give you a few extra points for the weight. So what's it look like when you drop this heavy weight on his head?
Poor gentleman is rather perturbed and shocked as this large weight built from engine parts promptly appears in a puff of wavy lines above him, is let go, and then lands on his head.
I like it. So with a boom crash, and he starts to fall down towards the water now. As Voltan has been smacked and crashed about heavily in this round, and he's looking a little worse for wear. As Professor Kronos once again disappears and reappears on the deck of the ship, bringing us around to Masterman, who is himself looking kind of beat up. And over his back, you can hear him. He says to Fitzroy, "Get out of here, take what you need and get out of here and return with what you promised." And he will then try to smash the Eldritch Knight who's standing in front of him because he's so enraged. So he gets an edge on this. He doesn't have a lot of focus. He's not that guy, but he is going to spend 25 points of focus to try to do 10 extra points of damage on this attack against the Eldritch Knight. And you're sturdy 4, right? Or 3? 2. So it takes
2's the maximum I could be.
Yeah, it takes his multiplier down to 4. Is kind of what I meant. He gets a 15, but he has an edge. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to pull a die out and re-roll it. I'm going to re-roll that 2 on the left-hand side.
You do hit me anyway, so you don't have to re-roll.
I just want to see if I got better. But okay, so he hits for 36 points of damage plus 10, 46 points of damage.
Right.
As this
Is
massive
that
fist
factoring in the damage reduction?
Oh no, that's not factoring
Oh no, it's
in
not.
the damage.
Thank you.
So
Roger, for that.
26 plus the focus extras.
36 points of damage in total. It's with 4. It would be
so
6 times 4, 12, 24.
5 times 4,
plus
20 plus 6, and then plus the extra 10, yeah.
So 30, 40.
36.
40 points of damage.
Oh,
40 points.
I'm so confused.
Isn't it 5 times 4 and then plus 6?
No, his melee is 6, so it's and his
It's 4
multiplier. His multiplier is 6, so
which will go down to 4.
reduced to 4. So
So
6
that's
times
20.
4 is 24. 6
Plus
times 4 is 24. Plus 6 is
Oh, is it the 5 that goes down, not the 6 that goes down?
No, the
I thought
multiplier goes.
I thought the second one was the multiplier.
goes down. Oh, you're right. You're absolutely right. I apologize. You were 100% correct. Sorry.
36.
You're right. 36 points of damage. Too many
And
calculations going on in
We
my
can
head.
maths.
Well,
Yeah.
bloody roll 20 is got something going on with it, with those
Yeah,
rerolls.
it's a shame you
so-
can't adjust the damage modifier before you make the roll like
I've-
you can on a lot of other games.
I've got
Yeah.
a theory that it might just be displaying the best roll. So when you re-roll it, it redisplays whichever one is the best one.
Oh, that's actually a good theory.
I don't know because I re-rolled ones like 4 times and it come up as 4 as ones every time.
Did they? All right. Okay.
Yeah.
No,
There's
but
only
I get what Stu's saying. I think Stu's saying that roll 20 automatically keeps the best
Gives you
roll
the
when you
best
edit.
Yeah, I know,
one.
but
when you edit.
Jim would have had to have rolled 1 repeatedly.
That's not uncommon. We all know that's not uncommon.
Oh, that's
It's
actually true. We played Wolfrock with him.
That's right. If we can't actually modify the multiplier. If you go in, you hit the little cog wheel, you can adjust it every roll, but that's a little
That's fine.
it's a little time consuming.
yeah.
So we'll see if it's worth it later.
The Eldritch Knight doesn't look that perturbed by this hit.
Didn't
He's still
think you would.
fairly strong on his feet. He kind of just rolls his shoulder and was like, not bad, not bad.
And he grimaces again at you because he himself is feeling pretty hurt. So that takes us over, though. He's not moving. He's not going to try to move out of your way. Takes us to Volton. I'm going to say Volton with those 2 big hits, knocking him out and then knocking him down. You see him splash into the water. He flies back up out of the water with his move action and then flies back over to the ship with his standard action. And that's going to be his entire round, which will bring us back to Sherwood. So Sherwood, you just see Volton fly up at this point.
Is his
coming
electric
back to-
field down?
It does appear to be down.
Excellent. It's finally my time to do something useful. Okay, I'm going to use sniper and shoot him.
I love it. I love it.
So I think I need to spend focus for that. Yes, I do 5. And I'm going to also use combat trickery for another
All right,
5.
yeah.
Oh,
Because
before I
that-
forget, don't forget the other chap's still bleeding, by the way.
Yep. I've been reducing his. That's why he's looking as bad as he is.
Okay, is a 15 enough to hit him before I re-roll to try and get a marble? Actually, I get
It
one
is-
automatically.
You
don't I?
get one automatically. So that's effectively in a 6. So that's 9, 14.
19.
It's 19. 19 is enough to hit him.
Cool. So that doesn't seem to put damage on there.
Well, if you got to roll the attack button.
Oh.
You're just rolling the stat button. So
Okay.
well, we'll just calculate it off of your Marvel. So you've got a 6 on the Marvel. What's your multiplier?
So my multiplier is times 4 standard.
Okay, so that's 20. It's 24 plus 5,
So
29
29, and that's tripled.
times 3. Okay, so what's it look like when you take Volton out of the fight?
Hold on. I don't remember there being a lot of blood in comics.
Well, and he's a synthezoid, so there's not going to be a lot of blood here, regardless. Anyway.
Okay, so as I kind of, see him flying towards me with, a bit of a pissed off, what I would imagine a pissed off android facial expression would look like, I look him right in his blank eyes and then put an arrow straight through one of them.
And that's what you see, this arrow strike Volton right between his eyes, and this huge electrical
Oh, no,
burst.
through the eyeball.
Oh, through the eyeball. So it goes right through one of his synthetic eyes, bursts out the back of his head. You see all this electricity circle around his head, and then his body seems to go inert and plummets back down, smacks off of the railing of the yacht, and falls into the water, sinking away. You still have your move action and any reactions if you want to.
It's kind of, I don't know, swan around a bit. It's not really. I know I can't move. I've sniped. I'm not allowed to.
Oh, okay.
I think I've got to be stationary for that.
And that brings us to Lodestar. Lodestar, you see Volton fall out of the sky. You're on the key side, so you actually can't see Mastermind at the moment because he's in a floating boat above you.
Above us. Okay. I shall gently let the boat float back to the water.
Okay. So that's your standard
and
action. What would you like to do with your move action?
I'm going to leap onto the boat or
Okay, so
levitate onto the boat.
activating your
Doesn't matter
levitation, you float up to the boat, bringing us around to the Eldritch Knight. At this point, behind you, you see a sickly yellow light forming. In front of you, back where Trevor Fitzroy is, and you see him holding two crew members, and they become desiccated corpses in his hands. And you hear Union Jack, he's only barely conscious. He's screaming, "Don't let him get away. I've hurt their plans. You've got to stop him." As Trevor Fitzroy steps into the portal, what would you like to do?
Run after him?
Yeah, it's disengage an action. Or do I need to physically disengage? So I'm going to disengage my action and then move full sprint through the puddle.
Okay, so we see the Eldritch Knight spin away from Masterman and dive through this portal with Union Jack there at his feet going, "Go, go, go," bringing us around to Kingdom Quake. You've heard what Union Jack said. You see this portal open. You see Masterman there looking furious. What do?
I'm going to jump through the portal.
I love it. So you muscle past Masterman and jump through the portal yourself. Professor Kronos.
Is there any way, first of all, to decipher what the portal is?
Give me a logic test. Just a DC, just a difficulty of 12 for you. With an edge.
Is that a non-combat one?
Non-combat.
I believe I get an edge as well.
So you get 2 edges for this thing. Oh, you got it. You got it.
Yeah, I won't worry about it.
So as soon as this portal opens, you recognize it as a temporal field. This is a time portal.
Fascinating. Fascinating, he says to himself as he steps through.
Okay, so what we actually see is
I'll politely step over anybody's on the deck.
Yeah, we see Professor Kronos take a step forward. He blinks out and reappears right in front of the portal as he walks through, bypassing Masterman. And then that brings us to Masterman, who at this point, realizing he's got nothing left to fight for and he's pretty beat up. The remaining people who are there see him do this mighty leap off of the yacht and onto the quayside and start running back into the Isle of Rhodes. So there's no more enemies left. Union Jack is just saying, "Go, I'll clean everything up here." And the rest of you go through the portal, taking us out of combat. You feel this kind of sickly twisting of your insides. Professor Kronos, you're used to it. This is exactly what it feels like whenever you travel through time. And you're finding yourself reliving moments of the past in your mind, reliving or seeing things that might yet come to be, but they're just flashes, and you can't hold on to any of these images as space seems to rotate around you and pull you through in a way you can't even physically or metaphysically describe. However, Professor Kronos, something unexpected does happen as your movement through time is arrested unexpectedly. And the 5 of you find yourselves in a completely white room. And there's an armored individual standing in front of you in this very high-tech looking form-fitting armor. And then you see out of a spot, looks like an insect flying around him, expands and expands and expands quickly into the form of a young woman. Both of them reach up and retract their helmets. And they put up their hands. "Please, we're not here to harm you. Just give us a moment to explain." What do you do?
What accent did they speak in?
They spoke in English with an American accent.
Goddamn Yanks.
Goddamn Yanks.
Yes, that's probably a good idea. This sort of thing normally doesn't happen when I time travel. Please do.
Fitzroy.
I'm just going to bend down as like level my head at theirs, but like keep about 5 meters distance and just growl ever so slightly and keep growling while they're trying to explain.
You see the young woman take a slight step back, but she holds her grounds pretty well. She goes, "You're right, Professor Kronos. We've done something that you're not used to, at least not used to yet. This is a time bubble, you could say, that we've constructed. We've pulled you out of the flow of time. So not even a moment has passed in your time travel, but there are things you must know before this portal opens." And this is the young woman talking. She goes, "My name is Nadia Van Dyne. Later, in your future, or in the future of your Earth, I'll be known as the Wasp. I'm a resistance fighter against the forces of Hydra. My associate is Nathaniel Richards. He's known as the Iron Kid. But listen, the
He's
reason..."
a fully grown adult, though.
Well,
Sorry.
He's a teenager. We're teenagers, but yeah, yes, Professor Kronos.
Sorry, reverse that. Go back a bit.
Yes.
Your world?
Right. All right. You understand the concept of the multiverse, right, Professor Kronos? That any actions you take within your time can split your timeline off to other
yes,
So you are from an Earth that in the multiverse is labeled as Earth 56438. We're from that Earth as well. In the near future, during World War II, the Earth you're on and the Earth you're going to end up on, the war ends about the same. However, after the war, our timeline changes horribly. But that doesn't matter. I shouldn't be cluttering you with this information. You don't need to worry about that. The important thing to understand is Iron Kid and I have been scouring the multiverses, looking for temporal blips, distortions, unaccounted for changes in the timelines. And we think that Operation Pendragon is that distortion. You need to understand, you have no variance across the multiverse. You are singular to our Earth, 56438. There is no one else like you, like this group within the multiverse. We also know that regardless of the outcome of your mission to capture Trevor Fitzroy, you never return to 1943. In fact, you never return to any of the history within Earth 56438 up until the point where we are currently engaged with it 80 years in your future in the year 2023. We believe, and we believe our science bears this out, it's because you followed Trevor Fitzroy through his temporal portal. His portal was meant to take him to a point in space and time in New York City in the United States in the year 2023. That portal, we believe, has intersected with another multi-dimensional portal from our own Earth, and that you are in fact going to appear in the year 2023 on an Earth designated 616.
So even if we were to travel back in time, it wouldn't be the same Earth that we were traveling back in time in.
Exactly. You would not be returning to Earth, to your Earth. But this is the important thing. We believe that Operation Pendragon, at least some actions that you all or members of your team will take, will change a course of events, a temporal course of events that will prevent the destruction of our timeline. You, by your actions, we believe, will save Earth 56438, Earth 616, and possibly the entire multiverse. There is a threat coming that could, if unchecked, destroy the entire multiverse. This threat's already destroyed other universes, and that's why we've been searching for you. All we're asking for you to do is when that portal opens, be the heroes that you were meant to be. Do what you know is right in your hearts to do. Deal with Trevor Fitzroy. Deal with the situation that you're going to find there. And we can't tell you too much. We don't want to affect your decisions too much. This is already probably too much. We will tell you that the world you're going to 80 years in the future is very different. But we've been in communication with a human on Earth 616. He will find you after you deal with Trevor Fitzroy. He will identify himself as Nick Fury Jr., and he will help you acclimate to the world you're going to find yourselves in. And he will help steer you on the course that could save our multiverse. It's not really a choice at this point. You're going to end up in that world through that portal. We are just delaying it for a few seconds so you have a better understanding of the sacrifice you're making and the possible impact you're going to have on the multiverse. Your names may never be known or remembered on our Earth, but you have a chance to be true heroes of the multiverse. We only have a couple more seconds to hold this time bubble in place. Do you have any questions that we can answer for you?
Are you sure you've got the right people?
According to
Of course she does.
We've been searching through the timelines across multiple dimensions, across multiple timelines, and you are the only singular variants. You are the only temporal anomalies. And we believe it's because of this, because that you are going to be disentangled from time and space, that you are going to have the ability to so greatly impact the threat that's coming.
All right.
No,
So,
Morgan, I didn't understand a
tall
single
order.
word of that.
Kingdom Quake's head hurts.
Professor Kronos can probably explain it to you all once you get there.
Yes, it's fine. I'll use pictograms.
And you guys see the bubble starting to crack, and you start to feel that same pull on your insides as the time stream, this like river of time, is pulling at you. Quickly, if there was anything else you would know, now is the time to ask it.
No.
Well,
Guess we'll see
TTFN.
you around.
Tell you her to have chocks away.
And you see these two people fade from your view as the time stream takes you again and pulls you further and further. You see a blinding, wrenching light, and you find yourself in a courtyard, surrounded by buildings. You hear the sounds of cars, of car horns. You feel vibrations through the ground. The air smells different. You see what you can only assume is an airplane of some sort flying high in the sky, but of a size greater than the largest bombers you've ever seen in World War II. This is definitely not your Earth, and it's definitely not your time. But as the portal spits you out, you see, slowly getting to his feet, Trevor Fitzroy right in front of you, his back to you, dusting himself off, unaware that anyone else has followed him through the portal.
Close enough to grab?
He definitely is.
Then
You will
the
get a
Eldritch
surprise round.
Yeah, the Eldritch Knight just grabs hold of him.
I was going to say I was going to put an arrow through his ankle.
I was
Oh,
going
you
to
can do
double. I
both.
was going to double fist him to the head.
I think
Also-
we need him
Oh
alive.
my gosh.
Now, alive might be of use, but it's up to you guys how you want to handle it. He is directly in front of you.
Well, I mean,
I feel
who
like we need to
reacts
roll
first, I
initiative to
suppose.
find
Yeah.
out who actually goes first and gets
Yep.
to make the final
Okay.
decision.
Let's go ahead. Let me clear the tracker out first, once again.
I think whoever goes first is going to get to make their choice.
I don't
Yeah.
think I'll be participating in this process.
Go ahead at this
I think I'll
point
just,
and roll initiative.
Oh!
I'll just watch the boys have fun.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Oh, poo.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
so,
to be honest, if the Eldritch Knight grabs him, I'm not going to do anything. It's
Okay.
just if I'd have gone first, I'd have tried to disable his movement.
Okay. So we still have the Eldritch Knight going first. What would you like to do?
So are we doing combat, or am I actually just like, can I go walk up to him and like just sort of grab him and be like, well, that was an interesting travel. I suggest you come with us willingly.
Yeah, you can absolutely do that. So you've got a hold of him. He startles and turns in your grasp, but he sees Operation Pendragon there aligned against him, and he realizes that, if he resists, it's unlikely that things are going to go
Everyone
his
do
way.
a hero pose.
However, right at that point, another crackling hole opens in the sky
It's
on the
Kronos'
ground.
fault. Yeah, all this time travel.
We'll deal with that later.
Next to you, and you see a woman, or you see a man fall. Well, first you see a man fall out of the original portal that's still open, that you guys came out of. Somebody give me a vigilance check, or everybody can if they want. Just a difficulty 10.
13.
Okay.
18
Okay.
with a Marvel dice.
I'm just going to give it to all of you guys. I mean, you're World War II soldiers, you're superheroes, you've fought with the invaders in the past. You all recognize the individual who falls out of this portal as a horribly beaten and near dead Steve Rogers.
Oh.
And he looks up at you. His shield is shattered, his uniform is torn, and he goes, "You have to shut the portal. The Crimson Surfer is coming." And he passes out. And right as he passes out, that second portal rips open the sky, and a woman with a metal mask carrying a Luger steps out with an armored Hulk behind her and a couple of other agents. She looks down. "Secure the machine, deal with these interlopers." And then she fires her pistol into the back of Steve Rogers' skull. The lights of the portal, the lights of the portal that you guys just came through start to turn scarlet, and you start to see an image of someone pushing their way towards the threshold. And that is where we're going to stop for tonight. We have found ourselves at the big bad fight at the end of the rank 1 adventure for the Cataclysm of Kang. After they deal with this, we will be starting our next adventure, which will be the Friendly Neighborhood for rank 2 heroes in the Cataclysm of Kang. So I want to thank all of my players for an entertaining fight against the Battle Axis in 1943. We're going to see what they can do when they're up against some modern day 2023 villains. With that, what else do we have going on with Garblag this week? I believe Pete is going to be running Heroic Deeds tomorrow.
Yes, we are.
Once again, this is Pete's own game. It's got the OSR feel with some modern mechanics, and he's running the crew through the Red Hand of Doom. It's an incredibly fun adventure, and if you're not watching it, you're making a huge mistake. So go back, binge it on YouTube today, and then watch the next episode live tomorrow, the same time you watch this. And then come back on Tuesday and watch Millie, I believe, is going to be doing some more Coriolis for us, which will be a blast. And if you're not able to watch us live on Twitch, definitely go over and check us out on YouTube. Garblag Games has an amazing list of fun games from the past and our current games. Take a look at all of them. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, comment on them, let us know what you think. And if you're watching on YouTube and you've got a chance to come check us out live, come on, jump in, join the audience. We enjoy interacting with the audience, seeing what you guys have to say. Take it from me. I take some of the audience's advice for things that I can throw at my players in my attempt to murder them all. So, don't be a stranger. And If you're still looking for some more interaction, come over and join us on our Discord, Gartopia, where you'll find all of us. We're always talking about role-playing games and movies and TV and books and other things. We'd love to have you join the community and join in on our fun. So with that, I don't have anything else to add. Does anybody else have anything to add?
No,
If you're in the
thanks for
United
everybody watching
States-
tonight.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much,
Thank you
everyone.
to our brilliant author, not GM, not Dungeon Master. Why are you in this?
Narrator.
Narrator.
Narrator. So thanks. I'm glad everybody enjoyed the game. I hope everybody has a lot of fun. We're going to be diving into the actual Cataclysm of Kang starting next week, and we plan on running it all the way through rank 6 with these guys or whoever they decide to play after I murder them. So happy Thanksgiving to the U.S. Happy almost Thursday to everybody else, everywhere else in the world. And with that, I will bid you all a good night.
Adieu.
Bye.
Toodle pip.